Hello everyone, hi, this is Maru-chan and we are back at it again. Today, it is the 25th of July, I believe it's 10 a.m. plus GMT time, and welcome to the Maru-chan podcast. Yes, the podcast where you guys can hear my before and after thoughts of a game. And today's game is, what is it today? What do we have today? Hades. Okay, Hades. So, wow. Okay, this game is definitely one of those games that you guys want to put up in your shelf. One of those games that you want to put up in your top 10 list because, goddamn, it is a game that's not to be reckoned with. Hades is a game that came out in 2018, and it's a roguelike action dungeon crawler game. Yeah, that's basically what it is. Okay, that's the end. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Just kidding. I'm joking. So this game right here, it's like I said, it's a dungeon crawler. What could you really say about that? Well, it's a dungeon crawler. You go to different parts of a dungeon, and you basically kill stuff and you level up. It's basically an RPG. It's like a Diablo, but just action oriented, you could say. Anyway, yeah, it's one of those top games, I believe, in like the Game Awards as well. So it got a pretty good reputation, if anything. And God, is this game super good. You basically play as this one god in the underworld, the son of Hades. I think his name is Prince of the Underworld, but his name, I believe, is... Wow, I've seen it so many times, but I don't remember. I have it here, though. It's somewhere in here. It's like Zagreus. Yeah, Zagreus. And yeah, this guy right here, Zagreus, he's this badass-looking guy. He has no chill, okay? He has no chill. He just kills everything. And, but he's cool. He's actually a very cool character. He's not like this muscle head, beef head dude. He actually has a brain, and he's nice to all the other gods. So basically what happens is that he finds out that his mother is not really his mother, and it's actually another woman, which is actually his mother. That's the worst way to explain it, but that's basically what it is. His father is Hades, which is it's basically the devil here in this world, in the Greek world. And yeah, and Nyx, which is another goddess, is basically another is like supposed to be the mother, but they never told him that he's actually his mother is one of the goddesses from Olympia, which is, you know, like where Zeus is at and all the other gods, right? So you basically meet all of the other gods, which are technically your relatives, and Hades is technically a brother of Zeus and like Poseidon and all that. So technically they're your uncles, you know. So you have the right to see them, unless your dad is Hades, your big daddy is Hades, because he's the kind of guy that doesn't let you do stuff. If he tells you no, you don't do it. And in this game, everybody has a very hilarious you have the best interactions, like the best, I have to say. The dialogue in this game is great. I was not expecting to find dialogue this good either. I was just like, I'm gonna play dungeon crawler, I'm gonna kill some enemies, whatever. That's it. But no, they went out of their way to write pretty good dialogue. Like, god damn, one of the best dialogues I've heard in any single game. So yeah, so you basically start out like the story escaping. That's how the game starts out. It's like if you start out in a game and you're already in the action, right? So yeah, you basically start out doing a dungeon, and then you try to get as far as you can, and you end up dying. And yeah, that's when you end up respawning back at home, which is basically Hades' house, and then you start it again. So basically all you're trying to do in this game is just escape. That's all you're doing, escaping, that's all. But each time you die, you have to start over. Now there's about 40 levels for the most part. Somewhere around that line. Maybe I'm a little bit off. But yeah, you basically go through these 40 dungeons, and you beat them, but you have to beat them all at once. You cannot you can save it and quit, but you cannot just go back to your home, upgrade, and then come back and, whatever. You have to beat it from dungeon 1 to the final dungeon. And obviously all the dungeons are different. They always change. If you've played the game a ton, you'll obviously see some repetition, but who cares? Oh my gosh, the dialogue, it's always changing. Even if you die 30, 50, 100 times, the dialogue's always changing, and each interaction's always different. And there are some random interactions that you find throughout different gods that you meet. So it's super cool. Actually, this whole time I forgot to pull out my notes. I was just kind of talking there. Anyway, so in the general start, when I started, I thought the game looked beautiful. The cutscene and the trailer looked awesome. I remember watching that one. It was really nice. The animation smooth. The whole animation in the game is smooth. It's just it's so nice. Anyway, so I saw that there was a hell mode, and I understand why it's there now. So that's to make the game even harder than what it is right now. And now the game isn't too hard as long as you upgrade your character, and even then you don't really need that too much. What you do need is you need to get the right combination and know how to use it correctly. The right combination of things that we're going to be talking about in a bit. So if you get those right combinations, there's not necessarily a correct one, because they're all correct as long as you can beat the game with it, right? So that's just what it is. Kind of like Pokemon. It doesn't matter what Pokemon you have. As long as they're strong enough and they can beat the Elite Four, then it's technically right? So that's that. Anyway, his name is Zagreus. So yeah, there's a ton of detail and blah, 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 blah. So the gameplay, attack, special button, dash, and cast a spell. Those are the things you have to remember, because all of the spells and everything upgrades are revolving around those two things. And you can also make a call, which is a special power that one of the gods can help you in, basically. That's basically one thing that you should probably know. You can call gods and they can do one special power, but I've never used that. I only used it once, and they're probably very useful, but I just didn't need them throughout my playthroughs. Okay, so yeah, that's that. So from what I saw at the beginning, you had to kind of recover diamonds, but that's not true. I'll explain that a little bit later. The gameplay is smooth. I'm just kind of reading off what I have here. You can cancel your attacks. Yeah, some attacks can be canceled, and you can do some pretty cool combos in the game. Now it's not like we're playing Tekken, right? It's not Tekken or I was about to say Grand Theft Auto. You can't combo in Grand Theft Auto, I think. So yeah, you can combo, which feels nice. I think the way the game plays is pretty amazing. I think it's the enemies as well. Sometimes they have no chill. Sometimes these enemies just don't care, and they just start harassing you. They start bullying you really bad. They attack you from everywhere. You literally have to look at every part of the screen, and every little pixel, because there is going to be something either shot at you, or an enemy charging at you, or already attacking you, or already doing something to cause you harm. So you better be on your best behavior, class. I mean, kids. I mean, people listening. So the weapons. There's a sword, there's a bow, there's a shield, there's a spear, there's a pair of fists, and a machine gun. Yes, I said it. A machine gun, which is you won't unlock until later on, depending on how many keys you got. So they all have different forms, and you can add different powers of different gods and upgrade them. And you can even upgrade them permanently by getting certain items. and adding that item will cause it to, well, upgrade, which they're really good upgrades, permanent upgrades. But that's till like later, like once you get to the higher parts of the levels. I guess I'll just talk about the others. I have all these other sections. You know, I like to have different sections when I'm doing podcasts, so I'll just talk about that. There's a good mode feature that tells you that you can become stronger, so you can focus on the story. Oh yeah, no, it's not good mode. It's God mode. God, I hate autocorrect. But yeah, God mode, not good mode. God, like Jesus or Buddha. You know, all them other gods, whatever. So here, you can just focus on the story, focus on the dialogue. You don't really have to worry about it being like a mayhem and it being too difficult, because it's just what it is, you know? It makes it a lot easier for those players who just want to essentially focus on the story itself, like what the characters are saying, and it not being too difficult. So I would have hated playing it that way, because I was pretty satisfied with the gameplay. And you know what, I wouldn't even mind trying out the hell mode, because I think that would be really cool. I wonder how hard it is. But even then, this mode was kind of hard sometimes, and yeah. But it didn't have me pulling out my hair, because I always knew that you can upgrade, and you know, that's just one thing that I love. When you can upgrade, that's great. But when you play a game and you're like dying constantly, but you're not actually like, it's not leading you towards a certain goal, because you're just dying and coming back to a checkpoint, then that just kind of like removes the purpose of having that checkpoint there, because you still keep dying. Anyways, that's for repetition and for practice, you know, if you're doing a game that needs that. But yeah, this game, it's you're meant to die. You're meant to die, and you're meant to bring all the stuff that you got, and bada bing, bada boom. So anything that I want to say? Oh well, yeah. This is not really like anything important, but I like the music muffles as well when you press start. I know a lot of games do this now. It's a normal thing, but I still like it. You know, it's such a great thing. Just kind of like in Sonic Mania, the other episode, I was saying, when you get inside the water, that happens too. The music just kind of muffles. Also, Mario 64, something very old, also does it, I think. No, Odyssey does it. I don't know if 64 does it. I think it does, but I don't know. No, it doesn't do it. Anyway, so yeah, Hades is your little daddy, and yeah, you basically, anytime you die, you go back home, and obviously going through like 40 dungeons is difficult, so you're gonna die, and they send you back home, which you can upgrade the house that you're in. Yeah, you can do that. Do certain upgrades to the house, put furniture, all sorts of crap that you can do there. It's super cool. But you can also do upgrades that upgrade the underworld economy. So add more fountains. So when you actually get to really difficult spots, you can use the fountain to like drink out of there and get some health. So you're not just like dying in the middle of it. So that's pretty cool. Little touches like this really help the game feel like you're developing, and that you're developing the world of the game, because it's not just a world, but you are the cause of those fountains appearing, or this appearing, or that appearing. So yeah, I just kind of want to talk about all of the things that I kind of had here in my others. Besides that, yeah, there's a guy named Skelly. He's kind of cool. He's like a little skeleton where when before you're about to like escape, yeah, this guy, he's just like, yeah, he punched me, and he's really funny. Everything he has to say is really funny. He talks like he's from Brooklyn. Hey there, buddy. You know, like kind of like that, but just better and like real. So I guess before I get into it, just kind of go into some of the mechanics that you have to know. So while you're playing, there are temporary upgrades and there are permanent ones. The permanent ones are ones that you can get. Like I said, some of the weapons can get them, but you have to beat a boss, and you can get those, like those items that give you for the permanent upgrades. That's just what you need. So that's for the items, the like your weapons. But for you either need to get Jade, Darkness. That's what's relatively gonna upgrade your character permanently. And there are also building parts or like gems or some other crap. They're more like gems, and you use that to renovate your house, which you can use to upgrade the underworld or upgrade Hades' house, basically your house. Which could, some of them give you actually help you, and some are just for your, just for the F of it, just to do it. You can make the place look nice. So yeah, and you that's what you basically do. You collect that darkness, and it helps you. And you can also find these keys, and these keys help you unlock more of this mirror that you have in your room, which allow you to use that darkness to it's Nyx's mirror, and she lets you use that. There's also achievements that you can do, and they give you rewards if you do the missions. But that's just a little cool thing, it gives you something to do. So anyway, now on to the specials, the special skills. So there are a bunch of gods. Obviously, there's a ton of gods, and there's Artemis, Zeus, Aphrodite, Eris, Poseidon, Dionysus, Hermes, this one guy Chaos, and Demeter. If there's more, you guys can let me know. And then there are other gods that are in here that I didn't name. You also have a sister. She ends up becoming really cool. If you give them honey, they will become your friend, and you can friend everyone in this game. Anyone who has a dialogue. So, well, most people in the game. If you friend your sister, at first she'll be talking about I'm gonna cut your arms off and feed them to Cerberus, which you could pet, and he's your friend too. And she tells you that, and then you give her a few honeys, and then it's now she's talking really nice to you, she's kind of yandere, and then she turns really nice. And the same thing for everyone else. At first, you give a pot of honey to Hades, and he's like, oh, you little kiss up, I'm gonna punch you in the face. And then next thing you know, you give him some more honey later, and then he's like, oh, you're the greatest son in the entire underworld. Oh, I love you. And so it's really cool how everything changes in the dialogue as you're playing inside the game. You have some random events, and also when you're also just playing, or you're in your home, or there's this Medusa girl, and don't get it confused with the enemy Medusa, because there are a ton of those. But this girl, she's just a flying Medusa head. That's what she is. And each time you go talk to her, she gets all nervous, and she's like, Zagreus, I have to go. And she just goes. She kind of looks like Hinata from Naruto. She just gets all nervous, gets all red, and starts stuttering, and just leaves. But so the dialogues in this game are the best thing about this game, and let me tell you, there's a lot of good things about this game. So many good things about this game. Just the gameplay is so smooth. The graphics are nice. They don't have to be ultra realistic. Brawl, Super Smash Bros. Brawl sort of thing, or Halo 10, or Fast and Furious 9 sort of thing. But they look nice. The drawing, the art, the everything, the concept, it's so magnificent, and it's done so correctly. I can see why people had very good reviews about it. It's just a great game. Anyway, so there's a ton of skills, and they all revolve around your weapon. So that's actually, no, I'm wrong. Each weapon has their own skills and their own upgrades, right? That you can do temporarily. But then there's also upgrades that you can do temporarily, with the god. They're called boons, and when you find these, you usually find these every single time you do a dungeon or a chamber, as they call it, a chamber. So when you do a chamber, it'll probably have a little sign that you could do it, and I'll explain this a little bit more. So you get these spells. For example, Artemis, he gives you more like attack, more attack. Zeus, he gives you shocking powers, or or like a jolt, which will stun them, or things relating to lightning, right? That sort of thing. Aphrodite, she makes them weaker with love or whatever. That's just, every character has their own thing. Poseidon, he's knockback. He pushes them really far with the waves, right? Ares, he's like doom power. So when you hit someone, after a few seconds, they'll get hit by this thing called doom, which is like, yeah. So it's pretty cool. Every single one of them has their own unique things, their own status elements or whatever, which is super cool. And each of them integrates so well. There's so many different things that you could use for each god. Like, each god already has a ton of different powers, and that depends on what weapon you're using already. So there's so many combinations. Sometimes you might want stun with freezing, or with like the doom, but with healing. And there are some that like go against it. There are some that you can keep permanently during that run, during that escape. There are some things that you can only use for the next 2 chambers. Like they say, oh, this is a consumable, so you can only use it for 3 more chambers, 3 more dungeons, and then once you pass those 3 dungeons, now you have it'll revert back. So that's the really cool part about this, is that like you have so many kinds of upgrades, both temporary, consumable upgrades, and like permanent, semi-permanent, and permanent. So it makes you mix all of these in, and you can't really read the situation too much. You just kind of have to like try your best to not die, and even if you're at low health, a lot of the time you should be able to survive like the game, if you know how to move very quickly. So there's, I don't want to really go over all the combinations because I had so many different kinds, honestly. Like, I had one where I would dash, and the Ares guy, the Ares power, any single time you dash, these little circles come out, like blades, circle blades, and yeah, I would just use those and dash everywhere, and it would like take a ton of damage from all the enemies in the stage. So it's super cool. Like, there's so many things you can do, so many combinations. So like I said, there's also the mirror in your room that Nyx gives you, and that's the one you put darkness in. And this, like, after each run, after you die, each escape, you obviously come back to your home, and that's when you like upgrade, and then you go on to the next escape, and then you come back. That's just how it is. And so like, I love it. It's just, any single time you die, all of the dialogue is like, Hades is like, oh, this guy killed you, or I can see you were put in your place, you better not try to escape again. But it's so good. Like, it's so perfect every single time every single time you do something. Like, for example, if your sister beats you in the 15th chamber, this guy will be like, I forget his name, but he's just telling you, oh, you got beat by Miss Magaria. Oh, she's a very strong being. She's one of the fates, because that's what she is. And she has 2 sisters, which I'll talk about later. So yeah, it's a very interesting, like, and then everyone talks about it. It's just, and then like as you get farther and farther, like even your character starts contemplating, and he's always thinking to himself and thinking out loud, and you can hear his thoughts, and it's so funny. A lot of the things in this game are great. I loved it. I'm very happy that I chose this game this week, and I'm honestly very glad that I gave this game a chance. That I actually tried it. Yeah, I'm very happy. The developers are very smart people, So whoever you are, developers of this game, Hades, you guys are awesome. I forget. Oh, Supergiant Games. Yeah. That's who made Hades. Okay, so yeah, that's basically the upgrade system, the skills. Um, I guess I didn't really explain the mirror thing too much. You basically use the darkness, and each run you already have permanent upgrades like better special attack and better defense. Another upgrade where you get a complete new life. So if you die, you can come back. If another one is if you, I don't know. There's just so many. You get like 4 cast powers. The cast power is basically you throw it, and whenever you get a god to make it your cast power, it does that certain thing that god wants. So yeah, that's like a side power that you have besides just attacking and using your special. So yeah, you get to upgrade a ton of these things, and it's cool. And as you play more, you need more darkness to unlock more things and at higher levels, and you need keys, which I didn't really explain, to to open more of the mirror. And you also need keys to open new weapons, and you need keys to you could use it to also trade for other stuff, which there's a trader that helps you trade all of your stuff if there's something in particular that you need. But it's not always what you want, so it's kind of random. Everything in this game is random. So I'm gonna just kind of go over my experience. Now, I do want to just say that this game, you basically play the game, you end up dying somewhere, you come back to your house, you upgrade, and you try it again. You choose a new weapon, maybe change your artifact or whatever, and come back and just do it all over again. That's essentially what the game is. And I mean, it's great. I think this formula is great. It's kind of like, it always reminds me of Ukulele, and I forget the name of it. It's the newest one. I beat the game, and I did it for another podcast that I had before. Anyway, it was really fun. But yeah, it's the newest ukulele game out there, I think. Not the one for the 3DS, but it's if there's one for the 3DS. But it's for PC, and it's like on Switch and every other platform. Yeah, but anyways, in that game, you can beat the game at the very beginning, technically. If you have the skills, you can do it. But they don't recommend you to, because they want you to play through the game, learn how to play the game and the mechanics, and also earn Bs. So, if you get hit, you can still keep going in the level. But if you're good enough, you can technically beat that first part at the very beginning. No Johns. I don't know why I keep saying that nowadays. But yeah, you can just beat it right away. And this game is the same. Technically, it'll be harder because you don't got all the upgrades from all the reincarnations that you used. But you can technically get in there from the very beginning when you press play until the very end, where you beat Hades or whatever. And actually, I'm not going to talk about the ending because I found out that there are various endings, so I'll just let you guys experience all those endings by yourself. But yeah, I guess let me go ahead and get into it. So just a disclaimer here. I didn't count how many deaths I had. I think I probably had like around 20, and I think I'm like over. I think I'm like pushing it with that. I didn't have that too many deaths. I had maybe I didn't even have 20, honestly. I probably only had like 13. But either way, I still want to just say that I did have quite a few deaths. So just saying, guys, just saying. So anyway, yeah, so we can start talking about my experience throughout the campaign and everything. So one thing, just to let you guys know, is that when you get inside a chamber, it'll show you what the next chamber is gonna have, what prize, what reward. So for example, if it's money, it'll show a coin. Maybe you'll have 2 chambers sometimes where you can pick out of 2 chambers. Maybe you'll see that it has Ares' power, so if it's Ares' emblem that you're gonna get his power, so you can kind of think of what strategy you want with your character. So you go in there, you beat You beat the enemies, and you start to, you choose your power that it's gonna give you, and you do that basically all the time. And for money, or for darkness, or for a certain power, or a certain event, or yeah, I think so. And you can also get into these like whales. It's not really a whale, it's like a door, and it goes into the cosmic prime area, which is basically where chaos lives. It's this like other god that hates everything. He hates the gods in Olympia, he hates the gods everywhere, and he just talks crap all the time. And he's really dark, he's really mysterious. He like lives in a cosmic area, and he doesn't live where all the other gods live. It's kind of weird. I actually want to see what is his character supposed to mean in the real story of, the Olympia. I'm actually very curious, because from what I remember, there's no god like that. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm very, very wrong. So yeah, the campaign, this is what I went through. So obviously I found out that Athena is your cousin. Whatever, it's normal. So I have the worst writing here. Not because I'm a bad writer. I'm not a bad writer by any means, but because I didn't understand how the game was gonna work at the beginning. So I just kind of wrote it the way I would normally write a campaign for a normal game. So I just said I beat a bunch of enemies through several rooms. I guess I remember my first experience since I played it. So I basically got to Magaria, which is your sister, and she's like, I'm gonna kill you. She has a really cool what is it called? I guess a cool battle, I guess. And yeah, you end up fighting her, and she does this stuff where like oh yeah, guys, before I even get into it, it always changes. So yeah, you'll have a fight with a boss or in a room, and they'll do a certain thing, right? But maybe later on you fight them again 2 tries later, and they have a completely new move that they never showed off, or like 10 new moves that they never showed off, or stronger hits, or like all of these sort of things. So yeah, the game changes a lot as well in that aspect. So yeah, basically I beat a few dungeons. I started upgrading my items. I did pretty well. This would be cool if I actually showed you guys with like gameplay, but this is a podcast. It's meant to be like this, Anyway, so yeah, basically you go through a bunch of dungeons. It's super cool. You hack and slash so many enemies, get so many upgrades. You upgrade basically. I like to use Poseidon's powers for a lot of knockback, but I would always use Athena's Athena beast. She has deflect, so you can deflect anything. Like maybe you can deflect with your sword attacks, or with like your shooting attacks, your normal hitting button, or with your special button, which does a special attack, right? So you can deflect with that attack, or she has a boon where you can deflect with your cast power, or you can deflect with your dash. And I would always use my dash. I'll put it on my dash because you're often running away, and yeah, you won't get hit if you're dashing, but I like to know that when I dash, get out of a bad situation, I can also hit a lot of projectiles at the same time, and basically hit a ton of enemies that way. Actually, some enemies I would just use the dash to kill them. Also, your dash can inflict health off of them if you get the upgrades, and if you get the proper boons to help you do that. You could freeze them, you can weaken them, you can put doom on them, you can electrify them, you can do so many things. But that's just your dash. Imagine your sword or your bow or your fist, and if you're just doing the normal attack or the special, there's so many combinations. There's a combination that I used that I loved, that you can essentially regenerate, but it takes like 60% of your health, and you get, each time you hit someone, you get 2 health, yeah, you end up with a lot less health in the game, but heck, you get to like get health a ton. And there's also another power up where you can, if you've already died with all of your lives, because like I said, you can get a essentially this thing called like Death Defiance, where if they kill you, you come back, and you can get up to like 2 or 3 of these. So you get like 4 lives in total for one whole escape, when naturally you only have 1. Then you go back home, but you can get like 2 or 3. Anyway, so yeah, that's a cool part about it. And there are different spells that help you for different things, like the ones for chaos. Essentially his boons basically give you really bad effects, right? They give you really bad effects, but after you've gotten the effect, it only lasts for like 3 or 4 turns, maybe 6 turns, 3 chambers, 6 chambers. But after those chambers pass, you get to keep a really good thing. Like maybe it tells you you cannot use your cast for 10 chambers, and after you will have 500% more attack, which is worth it. Like, who cares about that cast power? I never even used it anyway. Well, I did. It's very useful, but you sacrifice it just for 10 turns, but you get this big upgrade. Or you can like sacrifice this. You can't. You go much slower, or your dash goes a lot. Doesn't go as far, but you get to. I don't know. Throw a nuclear bomb with each hit. You know, like after, which is worth it. You know, a lot of his things are worth it, but they put you in really tight spots, and also depending on your weapon and depending how many upgrades you have at that time, you could just easily might as well die very early. So if you know how to play, you should be able to get around a lot of these. It's the experience of playing the game over and over and over and over. So yeah, that's kind of what it is. Anyway, so basically, I think I did very good. I got into Magaria, and I always did. I never lost in normal dungeons, unless when they were really difficult, like some archers later on. So here, I'm looking here. Oh yeah, there's also these rooms where you can like get two different boons at the same time, which are really cool. But if you choose one, like the other god will hate you, and just like you have to fight him or fight a horde of enemies while he's shooting his special powers at you. I'm kind of looking here. You can also get these centaur hearts, which are basically it increases your max HP by 25 in each wherever you get it in that escape, but obviously it goes away. Your coins also go away, and you can shop throughout, going inside these chambers, and you can essentially buy other boons. You can buy upgrades for your weapons. You can buy health. Yeah, that sort of stuff. I'm just thinking here, guys. Yeah, I fought Magiera, and then I went to Asphodel. So, see the reason I didn't write the way I did before is because I had to change kind of like in the middle, like my writing style, and that's because at first, like I said, I was writing it kind of like a story, but then I saw that it's stupid to do that, because you gotta die, you gotta go through several reincarnations, and if you were to talk about each one of them each time, like it'd be way too long, and it doesn't matter. A lot of the times you play through it, it's just kind of that experience that you get when you're playing by yourself, like any game, right? Yeah, you can kind of show that essence through a video, but even then it's not so strong, because most people, I feel, will get bored with that sort of thing, mostly with a dungeon crawler, but watching that sort of thing. But it's really fun if you're actually there playing it, which I recommend you guys do play this game if you have not. So anyways, you go to Asphodel, and you end up fighting the Hydra there. That's I believe that's the only enemy that you fight there. Yeah, that's the only boss enemy that you fight there. I remember I lost like maybe 1 or 2 times, and afterwards, afterwards I just kept destroying him. He's like a bone hydra sort of thing, and he shoots these like purple triangles, just purple pizzas, and then he smashes his head. And after you hit him a certain amount of times, a few little hydras come out of the lava, and you have to kill those, and then you can kill the main head again, and so on and so forth. You do it like 2 or 3 times. So that's the hydra. And then afterwards you reach the Megara. So at this point I already played it enough where, you know, I beat her several times, 2 or 3 times, and her sister came out. I didn't write her sister's name, but her sister came out, and so did her other sister. The first sister that came out is this really creepy one that's always like, murder, murder. And it was, yeah, her face looks weird, and yeah, she's just thinking about killing, right? And yeah, so she comes out and whatever. Then she has another sister, which she's, you know, very active, very happy, but she's still like, oh no, I'm gonna kill you. But she's not that bad. She actually seems like the most normal one. Besides Megara, I think she was pretty cool. She's a very good character. So yeah, basically you fight her sisters, and it's random. Sometimes Megara, sometimes this sister, sometimes that one. And also you also have a friend, Tartarus, or Thanatos, and he's like the god of death technically, and he's like your best friend, and he's kind of like, how can I explain it? He's always like blaming you in a way, indirectly, that you're leaving. You're trying to escape to like Olympia, right? But he's like, oh, you're leaving me, but I don't care anymore. You're my friend, but you know what? I don't care because you don't care about me. You know, he's just like indirectly talking crap about you because like saying that you don't care about him. But you know, like they like each other. Both characters, they really like each other. So like I said, the dialogue is what's good in this game. It's the most magnificent thing about this game. Every interaction is so unique. It's so great. Very beautiful. Yeah. Anyways, so I got to Elysium, and you find this one was definitely the hardest one out of all of them. There were 2 enemies that I thought were really difficult here, and it's the cart. It's like this a chariot. Sorry, a chariot. Basically, if you don't know what a chariot is, it's that little vehicle that you strap to a horse, and you would see a warrior or gladiator on top of it. That's basically what it is. But they like these chariots basically run around everywhere, and even if you like hit them with a strong attack, they don't like stop. They're like have super armor or some shit. So you have to really like be careful with those, and they like just ram you. Yeah, that's what they do. And besides that, there are these other dudes that you kill, but they're still alive until you destroy their spirit. So, but they're very weak there. So you can do whatever you want. You just have to kill them fast after you kill the main one. So there's a sword one, there's a spear one, and an arrow one. But the arrow ones, in my opinion, are the most dangerous, as they can be very annoying and they have a lot of health normally. So yeah, there's that. Besides that, I ended up fighting a bull, and his name is Asterius, the bull. I'm sure it's not just the bull, it's like the warrior, the fallen warrior or something like that. And you end up fighting him. He like chases you around, and he like has this really cool style of fighting. But then you beat him, and he's like, oh, the champion is gonna beat you. You don't stand a chance to get him against them. And yeah, then you fight Theseus, which is basically the champion there. But you fight both of them at the same time, which even later on I kind of lost against them at some point. But the first time I didn't lose. That guy's just throwing a spear, and the bull is doing what he normally does. But then when he like jumps at you, lightning comes out sometimes, and after you take enough health off of Theseus, he starts to like call like Athena or Zeus, and lightning starts shooting down. You have to kind of be careful. And like I said, each time you keep playing, like each time you play, each playthrough, each escape is always going to change. Nothing is the same. That's why it's so interesting to just keep playing this game. It's always so, I'm always looking forward to the next escape, because I'm like, what sort of strategy am I gonna do this time? Am I gonna try to regenerate my health, or am I gonna try to bulk up in health, or am I gonna use an electricity with fire or doom, or make them weak, or deflect, all, like have a super strong defense, or you know, it's always so different and so unique. And yeah, I couldn't just, I was so happy with everything, with every combination that I tried, which were many. I was really happy with it. My favorite one was the bow. What else? The spear was also fun. The gun was really cool too. Those are my two favorite, the gun and the bow. The bow in particular being the most fun for me. Anyway, let me get back to this. So you basically beat them, and you reach Styx, which is the next area, Styx. So you have the first place, which I forgot again. Wow, I forgot the name of the first area. Tartarus, I think. Tartarus. Then you got Asphodel, and then Styx. So Cerberus is waiting there for you. He really loves you. Yo, cutie dog. Oh yeah, baby. And yeah, Cerberus is there. He's just waiting for you, but he can't let you pass because Hades doesn't want you to pass. So at this point, you have to go into like a side dungeon, and you have to pick one of the 5 dungeons. And if you pick the correct one, you'll find the snack. But if you don't, you have to fight a ton of enemies, and yeah, you give them the snack, and that's where you fight the final boss, essentially. Yeah, you fight Hades himself, which is basically the end of the game. Now, it wasn't that simple for me. I did fight him, but I didn't think it was the end of the game. I just thought it was just like a little part, like one little part before the end. So I didn't really prepare myself. I died. So in total, I probably died like 5 times against them. Maybe 6 at most. But I hardly died. Like I said, I probably only died like 10 times, 13 times. So yeah, just saying. I had just different strategies. That's kind of the thing here, guys. When beating the game here, it's not like I can't really talk about it in detail. Not because I can't show you guys, but because it's always extremely different. So to tell you guys every little power, every upgrade, like certain upgrades will help you level up plus 10 of your speed, or this or that, critical attacks, or this. Achilles was critical attack, I think. Or is that Artemis? It was probably Artemis that gives you critical attack, like in general. But yeah, basically, that's my experience from there. That's the rest of the game. That's the end of the game. I can't really say, once again, all of the combinations, but all I can say is the Hades fight, which is the final fight. And yeah, when you go in there, it's kind of like you're already in the overworld, basically in the human world, and he's just there. He talks to you a little bit, and then you start the final boss, which is him. And yeah, he's actually pretty easy compared to like some of the first boss. Not the first boss. Theseus. He can be kind of difficult because you're fighting 2 enemies at once, and it's kind of annoying. But yeah, he's kind of easy. You just have to watch out and be careful what you're doing. And he takes a lot of health. Jeez, so you need a lot of health when you're fighting him. Yeah, that's basically it. After you beat him the first time, he has a second form, and you have to beat him there. And once you beat him, bada bing, bada boom. He does final boss sort of attacks. Like, he cuts like 50 times. He shoots these things that blow up, and then you have to either get hit by them or dash through them. There's that. There's also these powers where he would shoot a beam, like a laser beam, and you have to hide behind either a wall, or you have to hide, or you just have to not get hit by it, which is pretty difficult when there's like 30 of them sometimes. And yeah, that's basically it, guys. That's Hades for you. I'm not gonna go over the ending once again because there's just a few endings. There's quite a few, and I'm not gonna go over all of them. I did end up watching like one or two more than the one I had, but that's because I just wanted to check it out. But yeah, there are a few different endings that you can get in this game, and I hope that you guys can try them out. And if you guys do, make sure to leave them in the comments and tell me what was your experience. It was hard for you? Was a fun game for you? I think it's a fun game no matter what. And the dialogue, once again, oh my god, please play this game, guys. Play this game. Get it on the Switch, or get it on your PC, or on your calculator, or wherever you can get it, man. It's such a good game. God damn it. Holy crap. So guys, I think I'm gonna end it off right here. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching or listening to the podcast. You guys can follow me in my Twitter, on my Twitch, on my Facebook. I have a lot of people on there. You guys can also subscribe, comment, comment, and subscribe on the YouTube channel. That would also help me a ton. I love to make these podcasts, and I hope that you guys all enjoy. And for you guys listening through the podcast, you guys, if you're listening to me through Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts or Spotify or Anchor, listen to me on the other ones. Maybe you have a lot of homework or a lot of work to do, so just change me and put me on the other one so I can get more views. Okay, maybe not, but sure, go ahead and do it. I don't know. But guys, thank you so much, and I will talk to you guys in the next episode. See you guys next time.